Hello, hello, I've got my coffee. Who is ready for some football? I know that I'm ready. Let's get started. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all of the collectibles folks out there in the universe. It is very good to see you. We're at Thursday. Guys, I'm ready for this weekend to come. Who's ready for the weekend? I know that I am. It's been a long week. It's been a good week, but man, it's been a long week and I'm ready to just kind of relax. And England, Italy are in the final. It's incredible. For England, we haven't been to, and I say we as if I'm a longtime fan. I lived in England for 5 years. My mom is British, so I do have some rights to this. But England has not been to a final of a major tournament since the 60s. That's the 1960s. Maybe the 1860s. It feels like it's been that long. So thank goodness it happened. My wife and I are going to be probably yelling at each other, yelling at the TV over the next few days, talking smack to each other, but leading up to this Italy-England game. So it'll be good. My wife is Italian, so she's going to be talking smack, and I'm going to be talking it back at her. Housekeeping items. Tonight I'm going to be on Off-Centered. That is the show that Brad, the comeback card investor, and I do every week. It's going to be on his channel this week. I'm looking forward to that. Catching up with Brad and really just kind of more of the same of just figuring out that he doesn't know what he's doing with his life, and we'll go from there. Also, Hobbypalooza is this weekend. I am so excited to participate in this. There was one last year. This is the second annual Hobbypalooza, and it's basically sports card content over the 3 days of the weekend. It's going to be awesome. My slot, I believe, is Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and it'll be on my channel, and I'll kind of help to guide where to go on that next. After my hour, there'll be another hour. It's just hours and hours and hours of different sports card content. So if you've got a few minutes, definitely check it out. It's going to be awesome. I'll put a link to the website for Hobbypalooza in my video description. All right, guys, it is football season almost. We are almost there. We're right there, right after July 4th weekend. We kind of get to the summer days. It's going to be a little bit slow still. We're not to, all the way to like preseason football yet, but we're getting close. Pat McAfee show, great YouTube sports channel. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. He's an ex-punter in the NFL, and he's hilarious with his crew. And he was talking about how Jameis Winston is throwing absolute lasers out there in practice. So I'm looking forward to it. Jameis has had LASIK surgery on his eyes. Can he lead the Saints to the promised land? All the Bucs fans that are watching this are laughing at me, and rightfully so. He did have 30 INTs the last full season that he played, along with 30 touchdown passes, let me add. The guy can throw. He's just got to throw it to the correct teammate or the correct team. Anyway, the guy can play. It's just a matter of can he put it all together. So I'm excited for my New Orleans Saints to take the field here in the next couple months. Excited to go see. I'm hoping to go to maybe New Orleans, but also just away games that might be nearby me. That's where I tried. I'm in North Carolina, so we've been to Baltimore Ravens games. We've been to, we'll go to Charlotte to Panther Stadium. That's a very nice away stadium to go to. Carolina Panthers, bless them. They are, that fan base. I'll be up there yelling in the stadium and they're totally okay with it. They're just very non-reactive, very different than going to Tampa Stadium. Or I can imagine going to Atlanta. I actually won't go to Atlanta to watch the Falcons. I'm not going to go. Falcons and Saints fans are very, aggressive towards each other. So probably not going to go to the Dome in Atlanta to watch a Saints game anytime soon. But I am ready for this. All right, we're going to talk about some football cards today, guys. And what I did is I picked out some popular players. I picked out some currently playing players, and then also I picked out guys that are not playing anymore. It's kind of like a look, just kind of a look to see what are prices kind of doing right now. I am using both the Card Ladder and the Market Movers data tools. I use them both because there are cards in Market Movers that are not in the Card Ladder database and vice versa. So I like to use both of them. them. They're both pulling from eBay sales. And so it's a good way for me to kind of compile information. And that's really it. If you want to try out data tools, I do have affiliate links in the video description. If you're not into it, that's okay too. Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. You can try them out, and if you don't like them, cancel. Also, disclaimer, this is not a buy these cards now type channel at all. Simply talking about cards, and I don't own any of the cards I'll be talking about either. It's the typical disclaimer, but buy what you want. Buy what you want. Buy what you want. There's a zillion inventory to choose from in sports cards, so really buy stuff that you enjoy. There are so many different players, so many different sets, there's vintage, modern, ultra modern. Really, dig into what you like and go from there. That's really the way. That's the ticket in this hobby. All right, the first card we're going to look at is a Christian McCaffrey card, his 2017 Prism rookie card. All right, if you were collecting last year, you probably remember this. There's a big kind of excitement, big push towards skill players in the NFL and their cards, kind of like a fantasy football element with sports cards being attached to it. We were quickly reminded of how risky skill players can be, with Christian McCaffrey being, a running back who was the number one fantasy football running back, went down in week 2 or 3 with injury, and he was out for the season. But his 2017 Prism rookie card, very cool looking card. And as a Saints fan, Christian McCaffrey is the last guy I want to see step on the field. This dude is lights out of a player. And so, he was out last year. If we're just looking at kind of the pricing of that Prism rookie card in a 10, population 879 currently. And in April of 2020, it was a $200 card. All right, as we got up to the end of August last year, so leading up to football season last year, this one got all the way up to $850. Recent sales are at $350, $366 for this card. Let me know your thoughts on Christian McCaffrey. Are the Panthers poised for a bounce back? Is Sam Darnold going to lead the way there in Carolina? What are your thoughts on McCaffrey as a whole? All right, next up, a throwback running back, not too far back. This is not a vintage running back, but one from my childhood. 88 Topps Bo Jackson rookie card in a PSA 10. Population is 528. Bo knows, man. Bo was everything back in the late 80s. Bo was everywhere. He was playing baseball for the Royals. He was playing football for the Raiders. And the fact that he could play at a high level in both sports, he and Deion Sanders were just unbelievable how they were able to do this. Neon Deion and Bo Jackson. We were really spoiled when I was a kid watching these guys, because Bo Jackson was like a freight train, but he was also really agile. Unfortunately, his career was cut short because of a freak hip injury that just happened on a tackle. Who knows what would have happened with this guy if he could have played an extended period of time. He was so awesome. This 88 Topps rookie card of his is kind of the Bo Jackson football rookie card. It's such a cool card. I remember this as a kid. And 88 Topps, this is cool too. If you're a collector of football cards and you don't necessarily need a graded copy or want a graded copy of Bo, these packs of 88 Topps football are still out there, still available, fairly widely available, or at least they were from a couple months ago when I was looking. Inexpensive. They printed the heck out of this set. So this is where, and actually the reason why I've kind of held on looking at some of these, like the PSA 10. Not to say there's a lot of PSA 10s of these cards floating around, but just the fact that you can buy boxes of 88 Topps football now, almost 35 years later, it just kind of tells you the amount that was printed. So this is not a scarce card by any stretch. So even though you see PSA 10 pop 528, this is not a scarce card. They're certainly out there. It's just how many of them are gem mint 10s. We just don't know that part. And I think with a lot of cards, I've talked about this in videos, is I sit here and when I'm looking at, do I want to buy a card? I think about how many of them do I think are sitting at PSA in that multi-million card backlog that they've got, and then how will that affect population? How will that affect supply coming to market? And that's really the thing. How many of these are going to hit the market over the next 12 months? And that's what I think about with any card, whether it be, an 80s card, a 90s card, a 2000 card, whatever. That's really what I think about with a lot of this stuff. So anyway, back to it. 88 Topps Bo Jackson rookie card PSA 10 from 2004 to April of 2020. So we're looking at some historical data here, going back a little bit. $80 to $250 card. $80 to $250 card for about 16 years. was kind of a general idea of where that card price was. In December of 2020, there was a sale as high as $900, and then we're seeing a high of February. There was, of course, a lot of high sales for sports cards in February at about $3,000. And then recently we've seen it at right about $1,400. So certainly come back off of the high in February, but still a far cry from where it was even leading up to April of 2020. The card has gone absolutely bonkers. Collectors want those Gem Mint PSA 10s. And so here we are. What do you think? Are you buying Bo? Let me know in the comments. Are you a Bo Jackson fan? Next up, we're coming to a guy who's looking for a bounce back year. It's Dak Prescott, QB for the Cowboys. He's shown all sorts of promise. Unfortunately, he went down with injury last year and ended his season early. We're looking at his 2016 Prism rookie card to PSA 10. Population for this card is at 1,099. And if we're going back, we can look at in March of 2020, this was a $100 card. Believe it or not, March of 2020, $100 card. In September, so leading up to right as football season was starting up last year, it's a $1,400 card is where the price was. In October, I believe this was right after his injury, it went down to $400. There was prices as low as $425, October 15th. And then recently, this one has sold in the $750, $775 range. So we've seen this price kind of start trickling back up ever since that injury, I would say, from October of last year. You've seen it kind of slowly kind of building from that $425 to recently at $775. Talk to me about Dak in the comments. Are the Cowboys making a move? They've got offensive weapons. What do you guys think? All right, let's really throw it back. 57 Topps Bart Starr rookie card. My vintage football card people will like this, that I'm bringing this guy up. Bart Starr, the legendary Packers quarterback, the guy before Favre and the guy before Rodgers. It was Bart Starr leading the charge in the 50s and the 60s for the Pack. Now, what I've done here is this card as a whole, there's not high population of these. So it's difficult when you're looking at sales because there's not nearly as many sales as some of these other cards. So I'm looking at a PSA 5, 6, and 7. The population for a 5 is 357 currently. Population for a 6 is 439 currently. And the pop for a 7 is 321 currently. Now, what's interesting is when you look at kind of the graph, the chart, if you will, over the last year, going back 365 days, the 7 is more than double. The PSA 7 is more than double of where it was a year ago, price-wise, according to recent sales. But the 5 and 6 have really just kind of stayed fairly steady. You know, the 5 and the 6 have just been kind of cruising along at about the same price. And that shows kind of a lot of like the vintage cards. While some vintage cards have really gone up a lot, there are opportunities for collectors if you are looking for maybe a lower grade copy. And there's not that many sales. So if you can catch the right auction, you know, there's a way to still get kind of decent pricing on some of these really awesome vintage cards. It goes for current players as well. But with a lot of the vintage cards, you just don't have a lot of the population. You don't have nearly as many graded copies to choose from. And so that's where, because of that lower supply, you will see, you know, higher prices here and there. But if you catch an auction at the right time, you can get lucky and kind of get in a nice price point. While we're on Packers QBs, let's take a look at what the 2005 Topps Aaron Rodgers rookie card is doing. This is in a PSA 10. So this is a card that, again, not a super scarce card by any stretch. It's only a 16-year-old card. It's a popular Aaron Rodgers rookie card, and that PSA 10, kind of the popular base rookie card that people know of. Population for a PSA 10 is currently at 1,966. From 2005 to about January of 2020, this card sits at about $100 in a PSA 10. This is, of course, before a lot of cards moved up in 2020. In November of last year, this card was about $500 roughly. We saw prices at about $500. At the end of January, it had ballooned up to $1,300. There was some sales in the $1,200, $1,300 range, and recently sitting at about $750, $789. It looks like there's a sale. What do you think about Rodgers? Is he staying with the Packers? Is he going somewhere else? Talk to me about Aaron Rodgers. Are you a collector of Aaron Rodgers in the short term, in the long term, etc.? Last but not least, we'll go to a former player, one of the all-time greats, Peyton Manning. 1998 Topps Chrome Peyton Manning in a PSA 10. And this is another interesting card where I love this card. I don't own one of these. I would love to own a copy of really any. I don't have any Peyton Manning rookie cards. I've been looking at a Bowman, a copy of the Bowman Peyton Manning rookie card and a PSA 10. I like this card. This is kind of his main rookie card as it sits now. And what we're seeing here with population PSA 8 is at 715. PSA 9, there's 3,909. Quite a few of the 9s there that are available, widely available really in that PSA 9 for collectors. And then the PSA 10 is currently sitting at 1,237 on the Pop Report. And so PSA 10s have been going up and down in price. We look over the last 12 months. The PSA 8s and 9s, though, have been relatively flat. So again, if you are a collector, you're a Peyton Manning collector, and you want to just own the card in a nice grade, the 8s and the 9s have really, those price points haven't moved a whole lot, even though, sports cards as a whole has been moving around quite a bit over the last 12 months. But really, those 8s and 9s have been fairly flat, so there could be opportunities there if you just want to have that card, if you want to own a nice, a near mint copy in that 8 or 9 grade. Who is ready for football season? I know that I am. I'm excited to get back to, not that I'm not enjoying some of this summer weather, but there's nothing beats fall and football and grilling out and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to football season. Who is your team and who are the players that you're really excited about leading up to the season? Talk to me in the comments about it. Have an amazing Thursday. Let's get to this weekend, shall we? Stay healthy, stay awesome. I will see you guys later. Take care.